In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a tarp tent in under 5 minutes with my tent stakes, my caveman hammer, my trekking poles, and my tarp tent. I've done this plenty of times in hundreds of backpacking trips I've been on for hundreds and hundreds of nights, and getting a tarp set up is critical, especially if you're doing trips on the Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide, or the Pacific Crest Trail, because you don't want to be spending half an hour getting this thing set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my watch, and we're going to see how long it really takes. It should be under 5 minutes to go from completely nothing to having the tent ready for me to dive under. Ready to go and start. Okay. First thing I do is I make sure that when I take my tarp tent out, I do not throw the bag on the ground. Keep that in your pocket because this is very easy to lose. And I just simply stretch this out. One of the keys that is a challenge is making sure to get the right side up with this little loop. And I immediately start by throwing the pole over here, and I use my 2 taut line hitches, which are the most critical camping knot you could possibly know. That will be in my knot tying book that's going to come out pretty soon. And once I get this all set up, I begin punching this into the ground if you can. It makes it a lot easier. And I grab my 2 stakes. And what I do is I don't tension these up too much because it'll pull my pole over. Good enough. Okay. And I like to put them out so it's about a 90-degree split on the lines. It's not exact. The goal is just to get it in the ground so you're ready to go. And I come over here, same sort of thing. And what I'm doing is I set the apex of the tarp tent first, and that's much easier to take care of because once I set the apex, then everything else follows along with it. And you can see I've got my taut line hitches here. I just tighten them up so it can't pop off my trekking poles. I grab 2 more stakes. And I don't get them super tight again, but just tight enough so it doesn't pull over the pole. I've pulled over this pole countless times. Nothing bad happens. It's just mildly irritating. Just the thing that happens to you when you're doing camping stuff. All right. And now I can tension it up. Okay, the apex of the tent is set. It's not perfect, so I like to set this just so. And now you can see the lines are a little loose. I tension them up using that taut line hitch. There we go. The apex is set. We're well on our way to getting this tent set up. Now the trick here is not losing your stakes, because once they fall out of the bag, they have a mind of their own. And I just barely get it tensioned. That way, when I walk around, it doesn't knock the whole tent over. And I make these lines pretty long so I can make an adjustment. If the weather's bad, there are additional guy line points on the tent that I can do. And also, oh, this isn't quite square. There we go. And also I can put more guy lines down, and if the weather's really bad, I can drop the back end down to cut the weather off. How effective is this shelter? I have slept in Rocky Mountain snowstorms, Pacific Northwest rain, slept in the desert in Southern California, pretty much anywhere in the lower 48. This is a highly effective shelter. And time. Woo-hoo! All right. I said under 5 minutes. That was under 4 minutes. Not too shabby. So as you can see, this tarp tent layout is highly effective in, I say under 5 minutes, but I was able to do it in 4 minutes moving around. And again, if the weather's really bad, you can lower this pole a bit. It does take some crawling, but it's very easy to get in. And I can drop this way, way down. And you can see how much space I have. This is more than a bivvy, and it's completely breathable. I don't get condensation on me. I don't get condensation on the bag. Just by having this tarp tent, it makes a huge difference in the experience. And when I'm completely under it, I've survived even lightning storms in the, gosh, what is it, the Grovant Wilderness. So pretty exciting stuff. And now, you know, I just thought about this. I'm going to see how long it takes me to get this tent down, because in the morning after you've eaten breakfast, or when you're eating breakfast, you don't want to spend 20 minutes putting this thing away because you want to get on the trail. And haha, my bag is right here. I have no idea how long this is going to take me to take down. The longest part is usually getting the tarp in this funny stuff sack. So we're going to do that. I'm going to clear my watch, and I'm just going to go around, yank it, and see how well I do. We're ready to go? Okay, and let's do it. Now when I'm breaking the tent down, I don't really care if anything flops over. That's no big deal, because the goal is to have speed and efficiency, not necessarily, hey, I want to keep my trekking poles up. That doesn't really matter that much. One of the goals is to make sure that you don't forget your trekking poles. Now, if you don't use trekking poles, I have used down sticks off of trees, literally 15, 20 minutes before I'm ready to camp. I just find a couple of sticks that are about the right size. So if you're anti-trekking pole, you have no problem setting up this sort of tarp tent. If you're in the desert and there are no sticks, I highly recommend the trekking poles. Always count your stakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Because you lose a stake or two and you are out of business with your tarp tent. That is the one downside to it. Collect my trekking pole here. Loosen up the taut line hitch. Again, one of the featured premier knots in my book of knots on knots for adventurers, survivalists, backpackers, and expeditionists. And what I do on this side is I bundle up loosely the cords on one end. I don't put them all together because no matter how careful you are, they will get knotted up. And once I get this stuffed in here, then I just start jamming it in. This is a silicone nylon tarp. I will put links below to everything used in this video or good substitutes thereof. I don't even know if they make this anymore, but I have used this thing for probably 18 years and it's still going strong. Okay, so the biggest thing that'll happen is this will pop out and then I will look silly. Hopefully I don't do that, because otherwise that is a TikTok video. And then just a little draw. And time! Boom! 2 minutes, 18 seconds. You can see it down there. Not too shabby. So in 2 minutes and 18 seconds, I can literally put my tent in my pocket. It's a little bit awkward. The rock, I'm not gonna carry the rock. And the tarp stakes, you can put here. I've got my trekking poles and I can trek away. So really, a tarp tent is highly versatile, allows me to stay super cool, easy, ultralight. I mean, can you put your 3-man tent in your pocket? Can you put your bivvy in your pocket? No way. Would I backpack with this? Not really, but man, I mean, just a few ounces here, a few ounces there, and with preset cords with taut line hitches, I'm ready to go. Just like that, that is how you set up a tent, a tarp tent, in under 5 minutes and break it down apparently in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. That was much better than I've ever done. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a professional adventurer and, oddly enough, a polar explorer. Please check out links below to my show World Beyond and Antarctic Tears. And also check out my books on Adventure Expedition 1, How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold, Antarctic Tears, Lost at Windy Corner, and the Total Eclipse Guides for 2024. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe out there.